There's a kind of pressure that sneaks up on high capacity women. It doesn't yell, it doesn't demand, it just sits quietly in the background and whispers. So, what are you going to do about this? After yesterday's conversation, that pressure often gets louder. You start noticing that something inside of you is shifting. You feel less willing to stay on autopilot, less able to ignore the questions you've been pushing down. And almost immediately, another voice joins in and it says, you need a plan. You need direction. You need to decide. You need a checklist. But today, I want you to slow that moment way down because the instinct to decide quickly is often not wisdom, it's discomfort with uncertainty. High capacity women are used to certainty. We're used to being the ones who know, the one who moves forward even when it's hard. So when uncertainty shows up, it can feel threatening. It feels like standing in a hallway with doors on both sides. And instead of exploring, you panic because you haven't picked one yet. But here's what no one tells you: exploration is not indecision. Exploration is intelligence at work. I remember a season when I kept asking myself, what's my next move? And every time I asked that way, my body would tighten because next move felt like commitment. It felt like responsibility. It felt like consequences. So I stopped asking that question. And instead, I started asking softer ones, not questions that required answers, questions that involved noticing. And something surprising happened. The pressure eased because I wasn't asking myself to decide anymore. I was giving myself permission to observe. That's the part that most women skip. We jump straight from awareness to action, from discomfort to solution, from questioning to commitment. But there's a sacred middle space, a space where you don't owe anyone clarity yet. And that space is called exploration. Now, here's the thing: exploration is not loud, and it doesn't look like launching or announcing or like quitting your job or starting a business. Exploration looks like noticing patterns. You notice what drains you faster than it used to. You notice what lingers on when you finally have quiet. You notice what conversations energize you and which ones exhaust you. You notice your curiosity keeps returning, even when you try to ignore it. Exploration is paying attention without demanding conclusions. And that's why it feels so unsafe for high capacity women, because we've been rewarded our entire lives for certainty, for answers, for decisiveness, for execution. But this season doesn't require execution yet. It requires honesty. And here's the truth I wish that someone would have told me earlier: you don't rush exploration, you protect it. Because if you rush it, you'll choose the most familiar door, not the one that actually fits. You'll choose the one that looks responsible, that looks impressive, that looks acceptable, not what feels aligned. And alignment doesn't shout, it whispers. That whisper can get drowned out when you're alone, you're tired, or you're pressured. That's why exploration needs support, not advice, not strategies, and not opinions, just support. A place where you don't have to translate your thoughts yet, a place where no one is waiting for you to figure it out, a place where you can sit quietly and let patterns emerge. And that's why the VonSwy Recreation Station exists. Not to tell you what to do, but to give you exploration somewhere safe to land. Now, if you're in this space right now where something is shifting, but you're not ready to decide, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not wasting time. You are not being indecisive. You are exploring. And that's exactly what this moment requires. And if you want a place where you can sit quietly for 7 days, listen and explore with no pressure to post, no pressure to perform, no pressure to decide, the VonSwy Recreation exists for that. And for some women, exploration feels safer in a private one-to-one conversation, a space where you can say things that you're not ready to say out loud yet. Both options exist because different women need different containers. Tomorrow, we'll talk about what it feels like when clarity begins to return. Not all at once, but gently, steadily, and without urgency.